A conversation that sees, hears, feels, speaks emotions is a healing conversation. Don't we all enjoy a fulfilling, meaningful conversation which has a lot of energy going in it, or somebody is listening to you intently? The same way, children look forward to having such conversations from parents. It's very important that we create a space for emotional expressions for our children whenever they are sharing something with us. But what happens? More often than not, we do tend to push aside all these feelings and emotions away by saying something like, "Don't be upset. What is there to be upset? Let's look at the problem. Let's solve what's there in front of us." And oftentimes we want to have that problem solving approach before validating the emotion. Now just imagine for a moment, when you are having a conversation with your parent or your friend or your partner or your colleague, if somebody just jumps on to advising and looking for solutions to the problem, which sometimes one is unable to find it, and at the same time does not give that adequate space, a safe space for emotional expression, you would come out feeling not relieved. In fact, perhaps thinking a lot more, feeling a lot more burdened from that conversation, feeling dissatisfied from that conversation. In the same way, children can also feel something similar. They may feel, why did they have to feel this way? They may feel, did they feel about the situation differently, and should they have not felt in that way about that experience or that situation? Which is why it is very important that we create the space where a child is able to not only express emotions, but as a parent, you are also able to hold that space where you're fully present to actively listen to whatever your child has to share in the form of emotions, thoughts, feelings, expressions. It's a two-way process. And it's only when you're fully engaged in it, it's only when you give that space, it's only when you ask a bit more about how they are feeling, what they are feeling, that they begin to share more and more. What also happens through the means of this conversation is they're also learning a very important skill, which is a skill to listen intently, a skill to hold a conversation in a meaningful and a valuable way, a skill where they're giving value to other person's perspective as well. And through your conversations with your children, not only do they understand their own selves and what they are feeling and thinking in that situation, but they're also able to understand other person's perspective. And this is how they're able to develop an understanding of their own self in the world that they live in. When you recognize that your child is emotionally upset and requires you to have that conversation with them, ensure that you do it in a space, in a physical space where there is no noise, where there is no distraction, and you're just there for them. And many times a child may actually take up a little time to open up. That's fine. Be tolerant. Be tolerant of the silences that they may have in that conversation. They may say a few lines and then they may be quiet. Be absolutely patient with that. Don't try to pry a lot more, to know a lot more as to what happened in that situation. A child may begin to feel that the parent is interrogating in terms of what happened. Instead, stay calm, be fully present, give mild prompts, just be there. Let them feel that you're emotionally present. You are holding that space and you're ready to contain whatever emotion that they're experiencing at that point in time. And this is how we create a space where self-expressions, emotional expressions, a child can absolutely confidently express to the parent. And when your child is able to make these emotional expressions confidently, learns to do that through means of these conversations, that happens not once, not twice, but lifelong process where they feel this sense of comfort and safety in those conversations. That's how they're able to develop that confidence within them to express themselves, and which is absolutely healthy in all the relationships that they entail into adulthood as well.